Knight Rider, 1982 to 1986, captured the imagination of audiences with its thrilling blend of action, technology, and heart. The dynamic duo of Michael Knight and his AI-powered car, KITT, became a cultural phenomenon during its 4-season run. Behind these iconic roles were talented actors who made the show unforgettable. Sadly, as the years have passed, many of these beloved stars have tragically left us. In this tribute video, we remember and honor the Knight Rider cast members who are no longer with us, celebrating their remarkable careers, their impact on television, and the lasting legacy they've left on fans around the world. Edward Mauler, born April 8, 1923, in Cork, Ireland, entered the world during a turbulent era that shaped much of his dignified demeanor and nuanced artistry. At 59, when Knight Rider premiered in 1982, Mauler took on the role of Devon Miles, the foundation for Law and Government's refined and cerebral director, a figure whose calm intellect and unwavering moral compass provided the show's emotional and ethical anchor. Devon was not just a mentor to Michael Knight, he was the embodiment of genteel authority amid a world of technological marvels and shadowy threats. Mauler's early life in Ireland exposed him to a culture of storytelling steeped in tragedy and resilience, formative for an actor whose career spanned stage and screen with remarkable versatility. Before Hollywood beckoned, he honed his craft in theater, notably commanding audiences as Professor Higgins in My Fair Lady, where his precise articulation and elegant presence earned critical acclaim. Despite his polished public image, Mauler was a private man, a lifelong bachelor whose dedication to acting often overshadowed personal pursuits. His heavy smoking, a common habit of his generation, silently undermined his health, culminating in his death from lung cancer on May 24, 1997 at 74. Yet even as illness crept in, Mauler maintained a graceful professionalism, his final role in Baywatch Nights reconnecting him with David Hasselhoff and cementing his legacy within the evolving landscape of television. His net worth, estimated at around $5 million, reflected a steady and respectable career, eschewing Hollywood excess for refined craftsmanship. Mauler's life story reveals a layered portrait of a man whose calm exterior masked the tenacity of an artist navigating shifting eras, ultimately becoming an enduring figure whose intellectual gravitas elevated genre television and whose off-screen humility contrasts sharply with the commanding presence he projected. Richard Basart, born August 31, 1914, in Zanesville, Ohio, was a quintessential actor of the mid-20th century, who at 68 lent his voice and visage to Knight Rider as Wilton Knight, the visionary billionaire whose moral idealism and technological foresight propelled the series' narrative forward. Wilton Knight's brief but essential presence on screen was marked by an aura of solemn wisdom and heartfelt conviction, qualities that Basart channeled effortlessly through his distinctive voice, which narrated the series with a poetic and commanding tone that became synonymous with the show's ethos. Yet beneath this polished screen persona lay a man whose life was marked by complexities and contradictions. Growing up during the Great Depression in the heartland of America, Basart's formative years were shadowed by economic hardship and personal ambition, which fueled his drive toward a diverse and accomplished career. His filmography reads like a testament to artistic breadth, from the haunting Italian neorealist film La Strada to the literary epic Moby Dick, and the cult TV series Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Basart mastered roles that demanded emotional nuance and intellectual depth. His personal life, however, was less serene, with 3 marriages and the challenges of balancing fatherhood amidst a relentless career. Health issues plagued his later years, as a series of debilitating strokes gradually eroded his vitality until his death on September 17, 1984, at 70. His estate, valued at approximately $3 million, belies the profound cultural imprint of his performances, especially his voice, which resonated with emotional gravitas and integrity. Basart's legacy is that of an actor who brought humanity to complex characters, embedding a lasting emotional resonance into every role and narration, reminding viewers that true heroism on screen often mirrors the vulnerabilities of real life. Phyllis Davis entered the Knight Rider universe in 1982 at the age of 42, delivering a striking, unforgettable performance as Tanya Walker in the series' pilot episode. Tanya was the quintessential femme fatale, glamorous yet ruthless, cold-hearted yet utterly compelling, the catalyst whose sinister attempt on Michael Long's life triggered his transformation into Michael Knight, the iconic hero. Davis's portrayal was a study in contrasts. Beneath Tanya's polished exterior lurked a calculated and dangerous ambition that set the tone for the show's blend of high-octane action and simmering intrigue. Born July 17, 1940, in Port Arthur, Texas, Davis's early life was grounded in a working-class Texan community that prized resilience and toughness, traits she would carry into her acting career. The South, during her formative years, was steeped in traditional gender roles, and breaking into the competitive, male-dominated entertainment industry was no small feat for a woman with Davis's understated, enigmatic persona. Though she achieved steady work throughout the 1970s and 1980s, with notable credits on Vegas and numerous guest roles, Davis fiercely guarded her personal life, leaving the public with few insights into the woman behind the characters. This privacy perhaps shielded her from the harsher spotlight often cast on actresses navigating Hollywood's relentless pressures, but it also fostered an air of mystery. Her life took a tragic turn when she succumbed to cancer on September 27, 2013, at the age of 73. Despite never reaching tabloid-level celebrity or amassing vast wealth, her net worth was estimated modestly between $1 and $2 million. Her contributions to television endure. Davis's work subtly challenged the era's stereotypes of female roles in action dramas by presenting women wielding power and intellect without apology. In the decades since her death, her Tanya Walker remains a touchstone for the archetype of the complex, dangerous woman whose motivations transcend simple villainy, making her an indelible figure in the canon of 1980s television anti-heroines. Jack Starret, born November 2, 1936, in the small town of Refugio, Texas, arrived on the Knight Rider set in 1983 as a hardened presence at age 47, portraying the dual roles of Hagen and Lieutenant George Barth, characters infused with menace, grit, and a take-no-prisoners attitude emblematic of his career. Starret's trajectory was far from conventional. His Texas upbringing exposed him to a rough-and-tumble environment that flavored his tough guy screen persona with genuine authenticity. His career spanned both sides of the camera, a respected but volatile figure in exploitation cinema who directed and acted with equal intensity. Films like Race with the Devil, which he directed, and First Blood, in which he played the brutal antagonist Art Galt, cemented his status as a cult icon of 1970s and 80s genre filmmaking. Yet behind his tough exterior lurked a man battling demons, most notably a struggle with alcoholism that took a toll on his health and relationships. These personal battles often mirrored the intense characters he portrayed, raw, unrelenting, and sometimes self-destructive. Starret's life was emblematic of many character actors who carved niches in cult genres but faced instability and hardship off-screen. His death from liver failure on March 27, 1989, at only 52, cut short a career that, while never mainstream, left an indelible mark on biker and action cinema, influencing future generations of filmmakers and fans. Despite the relative obscurity in terms of wealth, his net worth was modest. Starret's impact was cultural and stylistic rather than financial, representing the hard-edged creativity and gritty realism that helped define an era of American filmmaking often dismissed by critics but cherished by audiences. His story remains a cautionary tale of the price paid by artists who live on the edge in pursuit of their vision. Ramon Ber's work on Knight Rider in 1982, at age 53, showcased his ability to inhabit morally complex and often intimidating characters, notably Acid John Byrock and Al Farland. These roles cemented his reputation as a compelling presence capable of blurring the lines between villainy and survival instincts. Born June 16, 1929, in Hartford, Connecticut, Ber grew up during the economic and social upheaval of the Great Depression and World War II, an era that shaped his steely resolve and nuanced understanding of human struggle. His upbringing in a blue-collar city defined by resilience and grit informed the depth he brought to his portrayals of hardened businessmen and criminals. Throughout a prolific career spanning several decades, Ber became known for his gravelly voice and commanding screen presence, often cast as the embodiment of corruption, menace, or troubled authority. Off-camera, he maintained a low profile, choosing a quiet, scandal-free life away from the Hollywood spotlight despite the dark characters he played. This duality, between the on-screen toughness and the off-screen discretion, made him a reliable and respected figure among peers and casting directors alike. His battle with cancer ended on May 27, 2001, at age 71, but his legacy lives on through a vast body of work including The Andromeda Strain, Badlands, and The Fall Guy, alongside Knight Rider. Though never a household name, his estimated net worth of $2 to $3 million at his death reflected decades of steady employment and professional integrity. Ber's story is a testament to the unsung actors who give texture and tension to television's and film's narrative worlds, embodying the gray areas of morality that challenge audiences' perceptions and enrich storytelling beyond simplistic good versus evil binaries. James T. Callahan, born October 4, 1930, in Grand Rapids, Michigan, brought a formidable blend of gravitas and grounded authority to Knight Rider beginning in 1982 at age 52, portraying key figures such as Jeff Barnes and Sheriff Bruckner who embodied law and order within the show's sleek, futuristic landscape. Callahan's presence was a crucial counterbalance to the high-tech spectacle of the talking car KITT and the daring escapades of Michael Knight, grounding the narrative in a reality that audiences could trust. Raised in a modest Midwestern family during the Great Depression and World War II era, Callahan's formative years were marked by the values of discipline, perseverance, and humility, traits which he honed further through his military service in the U.S. Army. This background instilled a resilience and work ethic that underpinned his entry into acting, a career path discovered relatively late after his postal service tenure, which itself was a testament to his steady, methodical approach to life. Callahan's trajectory in Hollywood was that of a dedicated character actor, navigating the challenging world of television with over 120 credits spanning dramas, comedies, and westerns, including his memorable role as Walter Powell in Charles in Charge. Despite his extensive resume, he often wrestled with the frustrations of being typecast into supporting roles, a common plight for actors of his caliber who deliver essential performances without the spotlight of stardom. Off-screen, Callahan maintained a remarkably private life, marrying late to Peggy Cannon, who stood by him unwaveringly through his battle with esophageal cancer. His death on August 3, 2007, at 76 marked the end of a career defined not by flash but by substance. Financially, he accumulated a modest net worth estimated at $2 to $3 million, a reflection of steady work rather than celebrity excess. Callahan's enduring legacy is that of a consummate professional, one who lent his talent to enrich countless stories and whose authoritative roles helped anchor the fabric of American television drama during its formative years, embodying the unsung backbone of the entertainment industry. Michael Masters, born August 7, 1929, entered the Knight Rider universe in 1982 at age 53 with small yet memorable roles like a cabbie and Garbage Man, characters that grounded the series' otherwise sleek, futuristic aesthetic with authentic touches of everyday life. Though his parts were brief, Masters exemplified the vital role of supporting actors in crafting believable worlds on television, unsung players whose work enriches the texture of storytelling without fanfare or fame. Unlike his more famous co-stars, Masters lived a life largely out of the public eye. Personal details remained scarce, painting a portrait of a private man who devoted himself to his craft without seeking celebrity. His death on December 2, 2003, at age 74 was quiet and went largely unreported, and the cause remains undisclosed, adding to the mystery that surrounds many lesser-known working actors in Hollywood's ecosystem. While he never achieved financial or critical acclaim on a grand scale, with no publicly known net worth, Masters' career illustrates the unheralded contributions of countless bit players who bring authenticity and depth to film and television. His presence in Knight Rider and other productions reminds us that these small, grounded roles are essential for audiences to connect emotionally to fantastic stories, giving them a foothold in reality. Masters' legacy, though intangible and absent from headlines, is etched in the countless moments of everyday realism he helped create, a tribute to the silent backbone of the entertainment industry and a reminder that even the smallest roles can resonate long after the credits roll. George Murdoch was born on June 25, 1930, in the modest town of Salina, Kansas, and by the time he appeared in Knight Rider in 1983 at age 53 as Archibald Henley, he had quietly built a reputation as a consummate character actor whose deep, resonant voice and rugged, craggy features made him a natural fit for roles embodying authority, rigidity, and a subtle comic edge. Archibald Henley was no exception, a bureaucrat with a certain pomposity and inflexibility that played perfectly against the high-octane action and sleek technology of Knight Rider. Yet beyond the screen, Murdoch's life was rooted deeply in the world of theater, where he was a founding member of the Melrose Theatre, showcasing a dedication to craft and artistic depth that transcended his often typecast television roles. Growing up in the rural Midwest during the Great Depression, Murdoch's formative years were shaped by economic hardship and the stoicism common to that era and region, a background that informed the grounded realism he brought to his characters. Despite the many roles where he portrayed stern judges, policemen, and military officers, there is no record of scandal or major personal tragedy dominating his life story, suggesting a man who managed to navigate the often ruthless Hollywood environment with quiet professionalism. His extensive credits include not only Knight Rider but also memorable parts in Barney Miller, Battlestar Galactica, and his iconic portrayal of God in Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, roles that demonstrated a wide range beyond his usual archetypes. Off-camera, Murdoch lived a low-key life with his wife Kathy and stepdaughter, prioritizing family and steady work over the limelight. His death from cancer on April 30, 2012, at age 81 closed the chapter on a career that may have lacked blockbuster stardom but earned him respect and longevity. His net worth, estimated between $3 and $5 million, reflected the consistent, if unspectacular, rewards of a lifelong career dedicated to bringing nuance to often overlooked supporting roles. Lance Leego, born May 2, 1935, in Chicago, Illinois, was a man whose life journey from orphanage to iconic television villain reflected a story of resilience and unmistakable presence. At 47, when Knight Rider premiered in 1982, Leego inhabited multiple roles, including Vernon Gray and Christopher Stone, characters that leveraged his gravelly, commanding voice and stern demeanor to create memorable portrayals of menace and authority. Glenn A. Larson famously remarked that Leego's voice was 4 octaves lower than God's, a testament to the unique power he wielded on screen. His childhood was marked by hardship, having spent time in an orphanage, an experience that likely instilled the toughness and determination that characterized his acting style. Early in his career, he worked as Elvis Presley's stunt double, a surprising fact given his later typecasting as the archetypal tough guy, and a testament to his physicality and versatility. Off-camera, Leego built a prolific career as a voiceover artist for ABC and a host of commercials, his voice becoming a familiar yet uncredited presence in American homes. He balanced this demanding career with a private family life, marrying and fathering 4 children, an achievement that spoke to his ability to maintain stability despite the volatility of show business. His death on September 10, 2012, from heart failure at 77, ended a career defined by steady work rather than stardom, with a net worth estimated at $2 million. Yet, his influence on television's portrayal of authority figures and villains is undeniable, cementing his status as a legend in the tough guy genre. Leego's life underscores how a distinctive voice and unwavering professionalism can carve out a lasting legacy, even if the man behind the gravelly tones remains largely behind the curtain. Barbara Rush brought an extraordinary blend of elegance, intellect, and emotional depth to her role as Elizabeth Knight in Knight Rider's 1983 season, playing the poised and enigmatic widow of Wilton Knight with subtle strength and dignity. At age 56 during her appearance, Rush's character was much more than a supporting figure. She was the guardian of her husband's visionary legacy, navigating a world of high-stakes technology and corporate intrigue with quiet determination. Born January 4, 1927, in Denver, Colorado, Rush's early years were steeped in a Midwestern cultural milieu that prized education and the arts. She emerged as a trailblazer in the mid-20th century Hollywood landscape, winning a Golden Globe for her role in It Came from Outer Space and earning critical acclaim for television staples like Peyton Place and All My Children. Despite the glamour and success, her personal life was marked by profound tragedy. The death of her son Christopher Hunter left an indelible scar, a sorrow she bore with remarkable resilience. Rather than retreat, she channeled her grief into continued dedication to theater and screen, maintaining an active presence well into her 90s. Barbara Rush passed away on March 31, 2024, at the age of 97, closing a remarkable chapter on a life filled with artistic devotion. Her estimated net worth between $3 and $5 million reflects not just financial success but a lifelong commitment to her craft. Her legacy transcends monetary value. It resides in the evolution of women's roles in media, women who command respect, portray layered complexity, and persist as pillars of strength both on-screen and off. Rush's story is a narrative of endurance against loss, of reinvention amid shifting industry tides, and of the quiet power held by those who refuse to be defined by tragedy or time, leaving behind a rich cultural heritage and countless untold stories that continue to inspire. Zakes Smokeoki, born August 5, 1934, in Johannesburg, South Africa, entered the American television scene with a powerful presence at age 49 in Knight Rider as Sam Kuna, a role that leveraged his profound intensity and commanding screen charisma. Smokeoki's life was indelibly shaped by the oppressive apartheid regime under which he was raised, a brutal system that institutionalized racial segregation and violence, profoundly affecting his formative years. This harsh environment imbued Smokeoki with a fierce commitment to social justice and a deep emotional wellspring from which he drew in his acting career. He became a pioneering figure in South African theater, most notably through his collaboration with playwright Athol Fugard in politically charged works like Master Harold and The Boys, which confronted apartheid's cruelties head-on and challenged audiences worldwide to engage with uncomfortable truths. This bold activism was not without sacrifice. Smokeoki eventually emigrated to the United States, where he became a citizen and continued to use his craft as a platform for advocacy. His filmography expanded to include significant roles in internationally recognized films such as Cry Freedom, which dealt with apartheid's impact, Outbreak, and Vampire in Brooklyn, where his performances were marked by a blend of gravitas and vulnerability. Smokeoki's journey was fraught with personal and professional challenges, navigating exile, confronting racial prejudice abroad, and managing health struggles later in life. His death on September 11, 2009 at 75, from complications of a stroke, brought an end to a career that was as much about social change as it was about art. Despite an estimated net worth of only $1 to $2 million, a modest sum given his global impact, Smokeoki's true wealth lay in his trailblazing efforts to break racial barriers and elevate black voices in theater and film. His legacy is one of courage, intellect, and a fearless commitment to truth, which continues to inspire actors and activists alike, making him an enduring figure in both cultural and political history. John Crawford, born September 13, 1920, in Colfax, Washington, arrived in Knight Rider in 1983 at age 63, portraying the archetypal rugged authority figures Mac Thomas and Sheriff Moore, roles that perfectly encapsulated his signature blend of stern discipline and subtle nuance. Raised during the austere times of the Great Depression in rural Washington, Crawford's early life instilled a deep-seated work ethic and practicality that he carried throughout his prolific acting career. Spanning over 200 film and television credits, Crawford carved a niche as Hollywood's reliable go-to for military officers, lawmen, and other figures of command, characters that demanded a balance of toughness and humanity. His roles in blockbuster films like The Poseidon Adventure and The Towering Inferno displayed his ability to ground high-stakes narratives in believable realism, while appearances in cult classics like Star Trek underscored his versatility. Off-camera, Crawford was known for his professionalism, eschewing the spotlight and celebrity excess in favor of a quiet, disciplined lifestyle, a rarity in an industry often fraught with personal turmoil. Despite his widespread recognition among audiences, Crawford battled the frustrations common to character actors, navigating typecasting and limited opportunities for starring roles. He maintained a respectful reputation among colleagues, embodying a workmanlike dedication to his craft that made him a treasured supporting player across decades. Crawford passed away on September 21, 2010, at age 90, closing a chapter on a career that symbolized resilience and steady excellence. Though his net worth was never widely disclosed, his cultural imprint is profound, a figure who contributed gravitas and depth to the fabric of American storytelling, whose face is etched in the memories of millions even if his name is less known. His legacy endures as a testament to the vital role of character actors who formed the backbone of Hollywood's golden age, quietly shaping narratives and enriching the cinematic experience for generations. Don Galloway, born July 27, 1937, in Augusta, Kentucky, entered Knight Rider at the age of 45 in 1982, portraying complex roles such as Gilbert Cole and Harley Freeman, figures embodying authority layered with enigmatic undertones, frequently straddling the line between law enforcement and shadowy covert operations. On screen, Galloway projected a commanding presence, balancing charisma and mystery, yet his life behind the camera reveals a man whose journey was equally multifaceted. Raised in a modest Midwestern environment, Galloway's upbringing in Kentucky was steeped in traditional values, but marked by the subtle constraints of small-town life, fostering a quiet resilience. His career breakthrough came with the long-running role of Detective Sergeant Ed Brown on Ironside, where he cultivated a persona of steady dependability, earning respect not only as an actor but as a man of principle. However, Galloway's ambitions extended far beyond acting. He reinvented himself as a columnist and libertarian political advocate, using his platform to challenge prevailing political orthodoxies and advocate for personal freedoms. This transition was not without tension, as it positioned him at odds with Hollywood's often liberal establishment. Adding complexity, Galloway served briefly as a deputy sheriff in California, blurring the lines between his fictional law enforcement characters and real-world public service. Tragically, his life was cut short by a stroke on January 8, 2009, at 71. At death, his net worth was estimated at $2 to $3 million, a modest sum reflecting a career less about riches and more about meaningful contribution across multiple fields. Galloway's legacy is a layered portrait of an artist-turned-activist, a man whose life story challenges the simplistic Hollywood narrative, revealing the tensions between celebrity, ideology, and authentic service rarely explored in the limelight. Guy Stockwell made his mark on Knight Rider at age 50 in 1983, diving into morally complex and often ambiguous roles like Riggins and Zachary Sloat, whose calculating and intense natures challenged audiences to reconsider black and white notions of heroism and villainy. Born November 16, 1933, in New York City, Stockwell grew up immersed in a family devoted to the performing arts. His father was a theatrical producer and his mother an actress, setting the stage for a childhood steeped in both privilege and pressure. This rich artistic environment was both a blessing and a burden, fostering an early love for theater alongside the weight of expectations that would shadow him throughout his life. Together with his younger brother Dean Stockwell, Guy co-founded the Los Angeles Art Theater, championing avant-garde productions and challenging the commercial mainstream. His prolific screen career spanned over 250 television episodes and nearly 30 films, including war dramas like Beau Geste and cult horror hits such as It's Alive, showcasing a range that belied his frequent typecasting as the cold, enigmatic antagonist. Beneath this professional exterior lay turbulent personal struggles, multiple divorces and a battle with diabetes that ultimately contributed to his death from related complications on February 6, 2002, at 68. Though his net worth was modest, his impact on Hollywood was significant, representing the struggles of actors caught between artistic ambition and typecasting. Stockwell's story is one of resilience and artistic rebellion, marked by an ongoing pursuit of creative authenticity amid personal adversity, leaving behind a legacy as a passionate, versatile performer who quietly defied the industry's limits. Though time has passed, the laughter they gave us still echoes. The cast of Knight Rider brought joy to millions, and even though some of them are no longer with us, their performances live on. As we remember those we've lost, we also celebrate the legacy they left behind, one that continues to entertain and connect generations. Thank you for joining us in honoring these unforgettable stars. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tributes to the legends of television history.